Hello developers, welcome to day 20 of the 30 days of JavaScript challenge. Today presents another opportunity for us to tackle challenges and enhance our understanding of JavaScript concepts. Let's dive in and make the most out of this learning journey. Today's challenge is to check if an object is empty or not. So it says, given an object or an array, return if it is empty. So an empty object contains no key value pairs, and an empty array has no elements. Then they continue and say that you may assume that the object or array is the output of JSON.pass. And we already looked at JSON.pass, and we said that JSON.pass takes in a JSON string and returns a JSON object or array. That's what we say about JSON.pass. So there's an example here. Say example 1, the object contains these two values, just key x, value of 5, key y, value of 42. And the output is false because the object is not empty. Example 2, the object is empty, so the output is just true. And example 3, it's an array, it has some value, so the output should be false because this array is not empty. So that is how we should do this challenge. Then the constraints are the object should be a valid JSON object or array. So it can either be an object or an array. Then if you convert that, we already talked about JSON.stringify, and you say that JSON.stringify, it's a built-in JavaScript function that converts an object or an array into a string. So if you convert this object, you have said this object can either be an array or a string. So if you convert it into a JavaScript string, into a JSON string, then you check the length. Its length will be between 2 and 105. So those are the constraints. So you can just dive into the solution because it's just simple. We already know about the JSON.pass and JSON.stringify, so you can just dive right to the solution. To solve this challenge, I'll create a function and I'll use the anonymous function syntax. I'll call it isEmpty. Then I'll try that this function should accept an object or an array, obj. Then you should check if this object is empty. If it's empty, return true. If it's not empty, you return false. And you know that if it's an array, you can use the .length property to check if it has items. If it has no elements, the .length will return 0. And if it has elements, you return the value of that element. But the problem is that the length property is not available with objects. It's only available with arrays. So you are limited to use the .length. But the good news is you can use the length property on string. And you are told here that you may assume that this object or array is the output of JSON.pass. So if this object or array is the output of JSON.pass, it means that we can convert it back into a string using the JSON.stringify. Then the length property is available with string. So I'll just do exactly that. So I'll convert this into a string using the JSON.stringify. So something like JSON.stringify. Then I convert my object or array that are passed. So this will convert it into a string. Then I can use the .length property on it because it's now a string. So I'll check if the length is equal to 2. Because we are told down here that, where is it in the constraints? If you convert it into a length, it should be between 2 and 105. It is 2 because if it is an object, if it is empty, it will have this 2 curly braces. So this will be treated as each will be treated as a character of the string. If it's an array, it will have these 2 square brackets. That's why I'm saying if the length is 2, it means that the object or array is empty because it will count the first square bracket and the last square bracket, or the first, if it's an object, the first curly bracket and the last curly bracket. That's why I'm saying if the length is 2, it means that this object or array is empty. So so I'll put this in an if statement like that. I'll say if this one is true, if the length is 2, it will return truth. So if it is true, I'll return. So I've said if it is empty, return true, else return false, like that. Return. So this is the easiest solution that I found, and you can just test it with this example to see that it works. So if I call isEmpty with example 1, so I'll just copy this example 1, paste it here. And then if I call isEmpty, I call it with my obj, then I want to log it in the console. So I'll just run it with the console.log. like that. So if I run this, I expect to see false because it has some values in there. So this else is the one that will be run. So expect false in the terminal. Let's wait for it to run. I don't know why it's taking too long. And you can see indeed in the terminal you got false. Then if you try with example 2, it is empty, so I'll just remove these contents there and to see check if it's empty. So if it's empty and I run this code, it should say true because this json.stringify, the length will be equal to true, because if you convert this into a string, it will be a string of 2 characters. That is this opening curly bracket and this closing curly bracket. That's why you get true in the terminal. So if you try the last example, example 3, it's an array now. So you want to confirm if it works also with array, not only objects. So I'll paste example 3 there. Then if I run this code, I expect in the terminal to see false because that array is not empty. But if I remove these elements here so that it can be empty, I expect it to return true. And this is the solution that I found that was just easy and straightforward. But there's also other solutions. You can see to return true. Also, there's also another solution. You can just loop through the object or array, and if you see if there's nothing to loop, you can return true, and if there's something to loop, you just return false. There's always other ways. You can just also make this code even simpler by using the ternary expressions that we learned. So you can just say, if I can put a question mark here, then if it is true, return true. I can make it in a single line like that. Then I put a full colon here. Then I say false, like that. Then I remove all this code from here. For it to be just in a straight line, and we expect it to still work. So if I run this code, it should still return true. There's an error. I didn't return this. I should return this all lines. So I just put the return. I forgot the return statement here. So now it should run. And you can see indeed it was okay. So that is the solution of this challenge. It was just easy and straightforward, unlike the other challenges. So see you in the next challenge. Peace out.